let's go ahead and get started in a comfortable seated pose. And you can either have your legs folded in a Virasana, or you can cross your legs in Sukhasana. But sit up nice and tall, draw the shoulders onto the back. Draw the ears back in line with the shoulders and let the spine be long. You could imagine that you're sitting up against a wall, and the back of the head, the backs of the shoulders, the backs of the ribs, we're all in connection with the wall behind you, as the lower back was gently drawing in its natural lumbar curvature. And allow the eyes to fall closed if they haven't already. And just notice how it feels to arrive on your mat, to be in your space. It's through intention and mindfulness that we make a space that we live in a really sacred space. So a yoga studio is really, really special because there's a lot of mindfulness and intention in that space. It's set aside just to do yoga, but theoretically you could do the same thing right now in your room if you make that really diligent decision to set aside everything other than the practice. So that's what I hope that you do. And we have many tools in this process of arriving. First is the breath. So let's take a deep inhale. Open mouth, exhale, release. Deep inhale. Open mouth, exhale, release. One more inhale into your belly, side ribs, chest. Open mouth, exhale, let all of the air go. Nice. Now seal the lips. Continue to breathe in and out of your nostrils. And you can go ahead and let the eyes open now, and we're just gonna roll onto the back for a moment before we get moving. So once you get onto your back, grab your strap or strap-like thing, and hook your right foot, extend your right heel up towards the ceiling for Supta Padangusthasana. If you don't have a strap or a towel or anything, you can just either take peace fingers to big toe, or you could interlace the hands around the back of the leg. Now with your left arm, just if you're not holding onto a strap, you just take the hand to the thigh. So from here, make sure that you're spreading the toes, reaching up through the right heel, and drawing the toes down towards the face. So if your foot was a seesaw, the toe end of the seesaw is gently pulling down as the heel end is reaching up. But then also feel the action of trying to press the right leg forward to the top of the mat to engage the hamstrings and create a little bit of resistance as you stretch and open the back of the right leg. Take a few more deep breaths here. And we're really just warming up the body at this point, so we won't spend a lot of time in each of these variations. From here, take both sides of the strap into your right hand. If you just have your hand holding onto the leg, you can hold the hand anywhere to the outside of the leg. And on your inhale, open the right heel out towards the right, but don't let your left hip lift off the floor. So like Jessica is doing, you can take your left hand to the top of your left hip, or you could just remind yourself that you're staying grounded through that side as well. And I want you to feel the more subtle, nuanced action that your inner right thigh is trying to rotate towards the back side of the mat, as your outer right thigh was trying to wrap forward and towards the front of the mat. In other words, your right leg is like a corkscrew turning to the right. Just very subtly.
Like that?
Yeah. Good job, Jessica.
Thank you so much.
Good. Inhale, come all the way back up to center. Take both sides of the strap to your left hand, or just take the left hand to the outside of the right leg. Take your right thumb into your right hip crease. So your hand should be wrapping around the outside of the leg, thumb into hip crease. Press the right hip forward, and then move the right heel about 6 inches to the left, but don't lift off of the right hip. So this isn't a complete twist, like Jessica demonstrated, but it is just an outer hip stretch, outer hamstring stretch, IT band. All of those muscles that are really tight And with your right thumb, continue to try to wrap the outer right hip forward. Let's take about 3 more breaths here. Spread your toes. Lengthen out through the inner right ankle. Good, inhale, come back to center, and then just switch sides. So take the left foot to the strap, either stretch the right leg out long or keep the foot planted, or you're interlacing your hands around the back of the left leg. So Supta Padangusthasana A. Supta in Sanskrit means reclined. Padangusthasana, hand to foot pose, in our case, hand to strap or hold the strap. Nice.
Oh, that's tight.
So remember, toes pulling down, heel reaching up. There's also this energy of the left leg trying to press forward. It doesn't have to be like so much that you're gonna pop a blood vessel, but you definitely feel a little bit of muscular energy in the back of the left leg, building some isometric and eccentric strength. Feel that the hip bone is heavy in its socket. And then let's take both sides of the strap to the left hand or to the outside of the left leg. Take your right hand to your right hip. Inhale, open your left heel out towards the left. So remember the action in the left leg. It's your toes are trying to turn towards the floor. Jessica's toes really turn down towards the floor. Not everyone will be like that. It's almost a little creepy how much she can do it. But that's the action, the external rotation that you're looking for. Breathe into the inner left thigh as if you had lungs in that space of the body. And let's take 3 more breaths. Be heavy in your right hip. Good, inhale, come all the way back up to center. Take both sides of the strap to the right hand. Take your left thumb into your left hip crease. And don't just let your left hand gently caress your left thigh, but really like that. But really get the thumb in there and give yourself a manual assist and press the hip forward. It might not actually move a lot, but you feel the action. And then move the left heel 6 inches to the right. And feel how the stretch on the outside of the left leg increases. What tends to happen is the left foot stops flexing and becoming aware because things are getting intense. So reflex the left foot and try to continue to lengthen out through your left inner ankle. 2 more breaths here. Very nice. Come all the way back up. Set the strap off to the side or whatever you have. And then hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. And begin to rock and roll a few times all the way up, or just roll to your side. And we'll transition into downward facing dog. We'll just do one thing down dog. Okay. So once you come to downward facing dog, I want you to just take your first downward facing dog with a wider stride. So let the feet come as wide as your mat. Now bend the knees quite a bit. Stick your booty up and out towards the ceiling and melt your ribs towards your thighs. So the reason why the knees are bent is because you're really trying to get that anterior tilt in your pelvis. Or in other words, you're trying to drop the hip points and stick the tailbone up. Now take a big inhale, come onto your tippy toes, straighten the legs. Exhale, press the heels back and down. Very nice. Step the feet back to hips distance apart, and I'll let Jessica take it from here.
All right. From your downward facing dog, just take a few rounds of breath as you take a moment, bend one knee, bend the other. Yeah. Beautiful. Just notice how the arms feel, and the shoulders, the spine, what's going on with the pelvis today. Just continuing to take inventory of the hips as well. And then make your way to stillness once more. Please draw the right leg up and back in space. Nice. Go ahead and drive the baby toe edge of your right foot up, up, up as you peel your right hip up towards the ceiling, twisted down dog. Now you can choose to hang out here with the right leg straight or bend your right knee, heel towards your butt. Wherever you are, just continue to drive the right hip up. Feel the side body length that you're creating. Now you have the option to hang out here or bend into your left elbow, drop down to your left forearm. Nice. Feel almost as if you want to topple over. You're coming in towards a wild thing or a flip dog, but don't do that. Okay, so if you drop down to your forearm, press into your right palm, straighten through the left arm. Everyone, right leg up and back. Nice. Exhale, right knee, right tricep. Beautiful. 2 more. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, right knee, right tricep. Nice. 1 more. Inhale, right leg up. And then exhale, right knee, right tricep, hold. I want you to lift your knee up higher. Now slide it in towards your chest. Look forward, right foot in between your hands. Okay. So you can tent up through your finger pads, or if you've got books, blocks, go for that. Pull the chest forward so the collarbone's broad. Nice. Exhale, bend your left knee, tap it down. 2 more, please. Straighten through the left leg. Exhale, bend and tap. 1 more, straighten through the right leg. And then exhale, bend and tap. Nice. Straighten through the right leg. This time, shift the hips up and back. Okay. So come in towards a pyramid or pyramid-like shape. So either the left heel is still lifted, or if you'd like to set up for pyramid, left foot in, turn the toes out to 45-ish, 30-ish degrees. So top of your mat were a clock. This will be about 10-ish, 11-ish o'clock. Keep the spinal column long. So the spine tends to compensate if the legs are really tight, and this shows up as in rounding through the low back. If that is the case, come a little higher up with your hands resting lightly on your shin, or tent up through the finger pads where you got blocks. Pull the right hip back, left hip forward. Feel this action that you're dragging your heels to meet each other in the middle. Next, 1 more breath. Beautiful. Rebend through the right knee, step back, hands flat, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up. Nice. Twisted down dog as you drive the baby toe edge of your left foot up, 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 up. You have the option to hang out here or bend your left knee, heel towards your butt. Yeah. Once more, heel is so heavy, it wants to kick your right glutes. If you did so other side, stay or bend into your right elbow, drop down to your right forearm. Feel the side body length that you're creating and opening up through the front of the left hip. Right, so if you drop down to your left forearm, press through the right palm, right forearm, straight through the right forearm. Nice, left leg up. And then exhale, track your left knee towards your left shoulder. Beautiful, 2 more please. Left leg up. And then exhale, knee tracks towards your shoulder. Nice, 1 more, left leg up. And then left knee, left shoulder. Nice, left leg up. Exhale, step your foot in between your hands. Keep the right knee lifted. Tent up through the finger pads or prop your hands onto something. Look forward, long spine. Exhale, bend your right knee, tap it down. Nice, 2 more please. Straighten. Exhale, bend and tap. Beautiful, 1 more, straighten. And then bend and tap. Nice. This time, straighten. Shift the hips up and back. Allow the left leg to straighten to the best of your ability. So either heel is up and over the toes, or you're setting up for pyramid, Hanumanasana. Right foot in a bit, turn the toes out to about, we'll call this, what is this, 2 o'clock? 2 o'clock. We were joking the other class, like, it's not very long before people don't know how to read analog clocks. But that is an aside. Just focus on your breath, your body, and space. Once more, nice long spinal column. So if you need to, prop your hands onto a block or books or anything like that. Pull the left hip back, right hip forward, and feel as if you're creating this wrinkle in the middle of your mat. Nice, last deep breath here. Beautiful, go ahead and rebend through the left knee. Nice, hands flat to the mat. Blocks off to the side. Step back, downward facing dog, please. Nice. Big inhale breath. Smooth exhale breath. All right. Inhale, knees forward. And then exhale, feet to meet your hands, top of your mat. Halfway lift, really long spine. And then exhale, fold forward. All right, so we'll do 2 more half salutations just like this, but I want you to focus a little more on the hamstrings. So, okay, let's do that first. Go ahead and interlace your hands just behind your calves. So you can either grab a hold of your calves like Jack is doing, or you can grab for the wrists, or you can grab for the elbows, and just fold down. Sure. No, you're good. That's good. This is what happens when you get inspired on the spot. So any amount of bend into your knees that you need to do is cool. Nice. Go ahead and undo that, and now we'll play with the halfway lifts with a little more of a hamstring focus. So I want you to visualize the top of your mat. That's kind of like a cliff. You're peering over that. So as you fold forward, the pelvis shifts back just to kind of accommodate the folding of the torso forward. As you come into this halfway lift, keep the upper back engaged, and I want you to shift more weight forward. So feel the toes really curl and try to grip the mat, and you feel a little more engagement through the backs of the legs, the hamstrings. So any amount of bend into your knees that you need to do is cool. And then exhale, fold forward, release. Let's try this one more time. Find a halfway lift. So instead of shifting your pelvis back in space, lean more weight forward, 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 almost as if you want to tip over and the heels want to lift. Beautiful. Exhale, undo it. All right. Inhale, draw the arms all the way up and overhead, upward facing salute, Urdhva Hastasana. And then exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana, hinge at your hips. Nice. You got a halfway lift, look forward, lengthen. And then exhale, deepen the fold. Nice. Inhale, arms extend all the way up and overhead, upward facing salute. And then exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana, hinge at your hips. Find a halfway lift, look forward, lengthen. And then exhale, fold forward. Last time through, inhale, arms extend all the way up towards the ceiling, press through both feet. And then exhale, fold forward, hinge at your hips. Okay, so you got a long spine in your halfway lift. Visualize yourself peering over that cliff. And hands flat, step back, high plank this time. A smooth inhale, breath, sustain your plank. And then exhale, lower all the way down. Untuck the toes, Cobra, Bhujangasana. Lift just your chest. So little to no weight in your hands. You can come up any height. Just keep a bend into your elbows. Hug the elbows in towards your ribcage. Exhale, slowly release that. Sweep the palms back behind you. Shalabhasana, locust. Lift your arms, chest, legs. Feel the fingertips pull back, toes point back. At the same time, you're squeezing everything towards the center. Exhale, slowly release. I slide your palms in your shoulders, tuck your toes. Use the in-breath to press up to a tabletop or plank. Then exhale, draw the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Beautiful, smooth inhale breath. Smooth exhale breath. Nice. Inhale, gaze forward. And exhale, feet to meet your hands, top of your mat. Really nice. You got a long spine. Feel yourself peering over that cliff. And then exhale, deepen the folds. Nice. Inhale, arms extend all the way up towards the ceiling. Press firmly through both feet. Lift up. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Beautiful. Halfway lift, Ardha. And then exhale, hands flat, step back, high plank once more. Nice. Big inhale, breath. And then exhale, lower all the way down. All right, this time you'll set up for a Sphinx. You can interlace your hands or not. We're going towards a forearm plank. So either you're coming to your knees or you're tucking your toes, lifting the shins. You got one long line of energy from the heels all the way out through the crown of your head, or knees to the crown of your head. Cinch the front ribs in, keep the hips level. Now you got one more breath. And then slowly lower knees, thighs, hips, come back to your Sphinx. Undo any interlacing that you might have. All right, so set up kind of like Ardha Bekasana, but not, this is just a little more focusing on engaging the glute and the hamstring and stretching the calf, the interior hip. Yep, so go ahead and bend the right knee, heel towards your butt. Yeah? So you've got this space in between your heel and the glute. I want you to shorten that distance. So drive your heel with all that you got towards your butt. Those of you who have a block or a sturdy water bottle, you can place it in the space between your butt and your heel. If you really want to torture yourself, just really press into that. That'll give you some feedback here. Now one more breath. And then gently release that, switch. Bend your left knee. You're lightly digging the right pelvis down in towards the ground. And then same thing, you got that space between your heel and your left butt. Shorten that with all that you've got. Find imaginary resistance, or once more, you're squeezing that block or your water bottle. Drive that in towards your glute. Press, press, press. And then slowly release that. Come back to your Sphinx. Nice, big inhale. And then exhale, lower all the way down. Transition, downward facing dog when you're ready. Nice, deep inhale breath. Smooth exhale breath. All right, lunging salutations. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, feet to meet your hands, top of your mat. Really nice, halfway lift. Shift a little more weight forward. Nice, exhale, deepen the fold. Inhale, arms extend all the way up towards the ceiling. Press firmly through both feet, or Bahustasana. Different, slide both hands towards your heart. Release your hands to your sides, Tadasana. Really nice. Inhale, arms extend all the way up, gaze up, press. And then exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Halfway lift, look forward, lengthen. This time, hands flat, right foot back, keep the right knee lifted. Tent up through the finger pads or utilize blocks, books underneath your palms. Gaze forward, chest forward. Exhale, shift your hips back, straighten through the left leg. So just here for the in-breath. And then exhale, rebend through the left knee. Step back, high plank this time. Inhale, glide forward, shoulders past the wrists. Exhale, chaturanga or lower all the way. Up dog, cobra, locust, your back bend. Exhale, shift the hips up and back. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg extends. Exhale, step your foot in between your hands. Tent up through the finger pads or blocks, books underneath your palms. Gaze forward, chest forward. Exhale, shift the hips up and back. Straighten through the right leg. So you don't have to straighten a whole lot. If it's not happening, don't force it. On your exhale, rebend through the right knee. This time, step forward, left foot to the top. Halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Then fold forward, Uttanasana. Really nice. Other side, inhale, arms extend all the way up and overhead. Upward facing salute. Slide your palms towards your heart. Release your hands to your sides, mountain. Nice. Inhale, arms extend all the way up, gaze up. Then exhale, fold forward, hinge at your hips. You got a really long spine in your halfway lift, both sides of the waist long. Exhale, hands flat, left foot back, keep the left knee elevated. Tent up through the finger pads or palms are supported. Shift your hips back, straighten through the right leg to the best of your ability. Just here for the in-breath. And then exhale, rebend through the right knee, step back, high plank. Smooth inhale, breath shift forward. Exhale, your vinyasa. Up dog, cobra, locust. Exhale, roll the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Nice. Inhale, left leg extends. And then exhale, step your foot in between your hands. Tent up through the finger pads or blocks underneath, books underneath. Gaze forward. Shift your hips back, straighten through the left, any amount. Now one more breath. And then rebend through the left knee, step forward, right foot to the top. Very nice. Halfway lift, inhale. Then fold forward, exhale. Beautiful. Feet as close as comfortable. Sit down low. Find your chair pose, Utkatasana. As you draw the seat down and back, feel the outer hips hug the inner. So it's kind of like visualize the strap being tied around the tops of the thighs. You're trying to press out into that. Now take one more big breath. And then exhale, fold forward, release. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, hands flat, optional vinyasa or straight to downward facing dog. Oh, really nice. Halfway lift, inhale. And then fold forward, exhale. Hang out here, a few rounds of breath as I pass it off to Jack.
Okay. Okay, everyone.
How are you doing?
Pretty good. So, from downward facing dog, let's go ahead and turn this is kind of confusing, so listen carefully. Turn your right heel in so that the entirety of the right foot is grounded. Now bend your left knee and turn your hips to the right. So you're drawing your right hip up and back, creating more length in the right side body. You can even peek up under your right arm and really get into it. Good, switch sides. Turn the right heel back, turn the left heel in, bend your right knee, and draw your left hip up and back. So big side body stretch. Other way. Actually, there you
To the right?
go. Good, just come back to center from here. Let's inhale, plank pose, come forward. Exhale, lower all the way down to your belly. Reach the hands back, face the palms down, inhale, locust pose. Peel everything away from the floor. Point your toes. Exhale, plant the palms and press back, downward facing dog. From down dog, let's inhale, reach the right leg high. Like we already did, bend the right knee, open the hip. And really, once again, bring this into the right side body by letting the right knee come more towards the left. Inhale, stretch the right leg long. Exhale, knee to nose, round in. Inhale, three-legged dog, kick up and back. Exhale, step the right foot in between your hands at the top of the mat. Now this time, full crescent lunge, but bring the hands to your hips as you rise up. So once the hands are at your hips, bend your left knee quite a bit and feel like you could try to drag your left foot forward. As you try to drag the left foot forward, draw your lower belly in and up and lengthen your lower back. Keep that, reach the hands above the head. Now keep the tuck of the tailbone, but re-straighten your left leg. Good. From here, on your exhale, take your hands down, step back, plank pose. Big inhale and plank. Optional chaturanga, upward facing dog or a cobra. Inhale, downward facing dog, exhale. Inhale, reach the left leg high. Bend the knee, open the hip. Bring this more into the left side body as you let the left knee fall towards the right. Good, inhale, stretch the left leg long. Exhale, knee to nose, round in. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, step the left foot in between the hands. Rise up, crescent with the hands at the hips. So Jessica's favorite pose now. Keep your right knee pretty bent. Try to drag your right foot forward until you feel those hip flexors and quads engage. As we stretch the muscles, it's important that we strengthen them as well. Good, now keep that tuck of the tailbone, re-straighten your right leg and reach the hands above the head. But there's this continuous effort to try to drag the right foot forward. Take a big inhale. Exhale, hands down, step back, plank pose, pause and plank pose. Now from here, step your right hand a little bit to center, roll to the pinky toe side of your right foot, side plank Vashisthasana. So you can always plant your left foot to the floor like Jessica's doing in front of the right leg, or you can do the full variation of the pose and stack the feet, whatever feels good, but reach the left hand high or forward. Take a big inhale, lift your right hip. Exhale, plank pose, pause. Let's switch to the opposite side. So step the left hand forward into center a little bit. Roll to the pinky toe side of your left foot, Vashisthasana, side plank. Maybe you plant your right foot. Maybe you stack the leg, reach the right hand high, or reach the arm by the ear. Take 2 more breaths, just building some heat. On your exhale, plank pose. Take a big inhale and plank. Chaturanga, exhale. Upward facing dog or a cobra, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Inhale, reach the right leg high to the sky. This time, exhale, just step the right foot in between your hands. Bring the back left heel down, warrior 2, rise all the way up. Nice. Good. From here, go ahead and really sit nice and low into your front knee. If the knees goes past the ankle, it's not the end of the world, but you could probably take a longer stride. Open the right palm high. Inhale, reverse warrior. Breathe into the right side body. So a common mistake here is dropping the right side of the pelvis. So I want you to try to lift up through the right hip point. Like Jessica's doing the wrong thing right now. Hopefully she realizes. Good. On your next inhale, bring your arms back to a T. Straighten your right leg. Reach the right hand forward now as you drop your right hip, and then tick-tock the arms, triangle pose. So if you were to come into triangle pose without letting the hips tilt with you, it'd be like this. And this is just not a fun way to do this pose. So you got to drop the right hip down and in. Now, Come back to when we were on the back and opening the right heel out towards the right. Remember that spiraling corkscrew action that I asked you to do with the leg? Do that energetically here. So as you drive the right heel down into the floor, feel like you're squishing a bug underneath your right heel and trying to rotate it to the right. 2 more breaths. Sorry, bud. No hamsa here. Good. On your next inhale, rise all the way up. Bend into your right knee. Exhale, windmill all the way down. Good. Plank pose, step back, inhale. Optional chaturanga. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Inhale, reach the left leg high. Exhale, step the left foot in between the hands at the top of the mat. Ground your right heel, warrior two. Rise all the way up. So pause in warrior two for a moment. Notice that the left hip is not dropping at this point. It's like that, but it's lifted and level. Then open the left palm to the sky. Inhale, reverse warrior. So it feels like the side bend is starting from the left hip trying to lift as the left knee goes forward. And you're driving the right heel down. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Good, bring your arms to a T. Now straighten the left leg. Now drop the left hip and pull it back and down. Reach the left hand forward and tick-tock your arms. So the pelvis is now trying to tilt so that the spine can extend with length. It's then the left heel that presses down into the floor and tries to rotate energetically to the left. It won't actually really move, but you certainly feel the action in your body. How much length can you create in your spine as you press out through the crown of the head? 2 more breaths. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, windmill all the way down as you bend into your knee and plant the palms. Plank pose, inhale, optional chaturanga, or straight to downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, reach the right leg high. Exhale, go ahead and step the right foot in between the hands, the top of the mat. Warrior two, second set, ground the left heel. Inhale, rise all the way up. Good. Find the same alignment here with your hips. But this time, take your left hand to your left hip. Look down and in front of your right foot, about 1.5 feet or a foot, and launch forward. Take your right hand into that space for Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Good. If you can find balance,
that was great.
If you can't,
that was a part of it.
Use your block or something to put your hand onto. If you found your balance, reach your left hand high. Notice that the pinky toe side of your left foot, the foot that's in the air, is lifting up towards the sky. It's not lazy at all. If you want to increase the kind of challenge of this pose, bend your left knee, squeeze your left heel towards your butt, maybe hold on to the foot with your hand and pull the heel towards you as you kick the foot away. Take 3 more breaths. You'll notice that Jessica isn't kicking her foot up to the sky, but it's going back behind her, like you're in a bow pose on your side. Good, let go of the left foot. Take a big inhale. Exhale, step back, warrior two. Now a little bit different here. Straighten your right leg, turn your right toes in, and bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, bow forward, wide-legged forward fold, taking the hands down. So like Jessica was talking about in halfway lift with the feet together, send the weight forward into the balls of the toes, like you're peering off that cliff. And then press the feet down and try to pull the feet energetically apart. 2 more breaths. Good, let's inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, rotate to the top of the mat. Inhale, plank pose, step back. Exhale, optional chaturanga. Upward facing dog or a cobra, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Inhale, reach the left leg high. Exhale, step the left foot in between the hands. Bring the right heel down. Warrior two, second set. Pelvis is neutral or level. Take the right hand to the right hip. And then go ahead and look down and forward lunge off of your back right foot as you come into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. So right foot in the air is flexing and lifting. So the outer hip is engaged. Maybe you reach your right hand high. Maybe you bend the right leg and capture onto the pinky toe side of the foot. You can also just keep the knee bent, even if you can't hold onto the foot, just to build some strength in the hamstrings and increase your active range of motion. As you pull the foot towards you, kick it away, but let the leg be like the strongest element in this pose. And peel the chest open a little bit. 2 more breaths in Ardha Chandra Chapasana. Let go of your foot. Slowly step back, warrior 2. Inhale, reach the arms long and straighten the left leg. Turn the left toes in. Interlace the hands behind the back, a little bit of shoulder opening here. Open the shoulders up, and then exhale, bow forward into your wide-legged forward fold. So here is a particular variation of wide-legged forward fold where you can really feel where you're placing the weight in your feet and the difference when you try to pull the feet apart to the short sides of the mat. You'll feel the outer hips turn on. On your next exhale, bring the hands all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, lunge forward, plant the palms. Plank pose, inhale. Optional chaturanga or straight to downward facing dog. So I'm going to do one more standing pose variation with you guys, and then I'll hand it off to Jessica. Inhale, reach the right leg high. Exhale, this time step the right foot to the outside of the right palm at the top of the mat. Bring the back left knee down. Good. From here, don't lift your right hand off the floor yet or twist the torso. Just bend your back left knee and squeeze the left heel towards the butt, like the same thing we did with Jessica when the hips were on the floor and I was squeezing that block. Now, once the heel is as close as you can get it, see if you can now reach the right hand back to the pinky toe side of the left foot. If you need to take something underneath your left hand to lift a little bit, that's fine. If it's not quite working, keep the right hand at the right thigh. Now, as much as you kick the foot away from you, pull the foot back towards you and let the arm this time win in the tug-of-war contest. You can always lower down onto your left forearm if you have the flexibility. But pretend now for a moment that you're a little doggy and you've done something naughty and try to hide your tail between your legs. So draw the hip points towards the lower ribs, create more length in the lower back. Isolate this into the hip flexors and the quads. Right, so on your next exhale, let go of your foot, take your right hand down, plant both of the palms, and just step back into a downward facing dog. Nice. Let's inhale, reach the left leg high. Exhale, step the left foot to the outside of the palm. Bring the back right knee down. Now, don't rush into the full variation of this yet, but bend the right knee and squeeze the heel towards the butt. And that's all you're doing right now. You're building strength in the hamstrings. If your hamstrings are cramping up, you can come out of it, but also know that you should spend more time strengthening your hamstrings. You're not a bad person.
You just need to strengthen your hamstrings.
Good. Now reach the left hand back for the pinky toe side of your right foot, or take left hand to left thigh. As you kick the foot into the hand, pull your hand back into your foot. Maybe you lower down onto your right forearm. Once again, you're a little doggy and you did something bad. So see how Jessica's trying to wrap her tailbone down between her legs. It's a subtle movement, but it's totally will shift the intensity of the pose if you're arching your lower back, which is not what you want to do. 2 more breaths. Good. From here, let go of your foot. Take the left hand down. Step back, downward facing dog. Let's inhale, plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga, lowering down. Upward facing dog or a cobra, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Good. From here, I'll let Jessica take it and bring us into some new and exciting places.
Next, take a big inhale, breath, fill it up. And smooth exhale breath, let it go. Beautiful, one more, big inhale. And smooth exhale. All right, inhale, right leg up. And then exhale, step your foot in between your hands. Go ahead and lower the left knee down. Nice. Tent up through your finger pads, or you've got blocks underneath your palms, or books, whatever. Gaze forward. And then half splits prep. Shift the hips back, straighten through the right leg to the best of your ability. And we'll do this 2 more times. Rebend through the right knee. And then exhale, shift your hips back. Beautiful. One more, rebend through the right knee. And then exhale, shift your hips back, hold. Nice. So we've already experienced something really similar before in Parsvatanasana. Just the only difference is that the back knee is lowered. So just take a peek out of your periphery, see where your body is in space. Left hip is roughly over the left knee. Yeah, and then flex your right toes towards your face. See if you can drag the right heel back, left knee forward, but no actual movement is happening. Stay here if this is plenty sensation for you. Alternatively, you'll walk your hands, your blocks to the outside of your right leg. So a little bit of a side body stretch, a little bit of rotation as you drag as you allow the torso to be nice and heavy down towards your shin. Nice, like Jack is doing, if you need even more intensity, you can drive the baby toe edge of your right foot down towards the ground. But wherever you are, just notice the sensation through the back of your right leg. Nice, one more smooth breath. Nice. Hands off to the right, come back towards center. Please rebend through your right knee. Step back, downward facing dog. Nice, other side, left leg up. And then gently step your left foot in between your hands, soften the right knee down. Nice, once more, tent up through the finger pads or place your hands onto something. Half splits prep 3 times, shift the hips back. Left leg doesn't have to be super straight. Yeah, 2 more, rebend through the left knee. Then exhale, shift your hips back. Beautiful, you got 1 more, rebend through the left knee. Then shift your hips back, hold. Set up your alignment. So right hip roughly over the right knee. This might mean you're wiggling the left heel forward just a bit, or scooting the right knee back. And then create that same action. You're trying to create a wrinkle in your mat. Your right knee wants to come forward towards the top, left heel towards the back of your mat. And then fold down with a really long spine. And if you did so other side, you walk your hands, your blocks to the outside of your left leg. And then drive your torso down towards the ground. You rotate, externally rotate at your left hip, drive the baby toe edge of your left foot down, but just be reasonable with yourself. It's not necessarily a one-to-one kind of thing between both sides. So just notice. Beautiful, last breath. And then return back to center, words are hard, and then rebend through the left knee, step back. You have an optional vinyasa here or straight to down dog is cool. Up dog, cobra, locust. Exhale, roll the hips up and back, and downward facing dog. Nice. Smooth inhale breath. Smooth exhale breath. Beautiful, 1 more big inhale. Smooth exhale. Really nice. All right, go ahead and lower down to your knees. Have a quick seat. How's it going?
It's going great.
Amazing. How are you guys doing? Okay, I'm just gonna assume you guys are doing great. A little bit, so we'll go towards Hanumanasana, so splits. What this is not a profound back bend. So usually when we extend one leg, the pelvis kind of moves with us because your pelvis is connected to your legs. So just be mindful of that. I'm not expecting anybody to go into a super, super deep and fully extended half splits, but we'll take a little time to play with it. So what you'll do is you'll set up like you would for low lunge. And if you have your towel or your blanket, you can just set that in front of your mat, but it is an option, not a necessity. If you do have a towel or a blanket or whatever, set your foot on top of it. And what I want you to do is I want you to extend the right leg forward to start. So you'll straighten through the right leg. See how this feels. Yeah. Continue to tent up through the finger pads. Support yourself with blocks if you've got them. If this is enough, great, this is where you stay. Alternatively, as you move the right leg forward, you'll scoot the left knee back. Nice. And just kind of play with lowering the hips. One hip will kind of be forward a bit. So I know some people might have cheerleading backgrounds where the hips are more, yes, exactly. The right hip would be in front and the left hip would be in back, but more or less in Hanumanasana, you want the pelvis to be neutral. So the right hip is in the same plane as the left hip, vice versa. Yeah. Take one more big breath. Nice. So just to avoid ripping of your groin, draw your right heel back in first, then you can scoot the left knee back. Yeah, and then right knee to meet the left. You'll switch, come in toward the low lunge on the left. Yeah. Then set your foot out in front of you, lift the left ball mound off your mat. And then just hang out here in this half splits. Or if you want to play towards Hanumanasana, you'll scoot the left heel forward. And then as the left heel moves forward, just make it proportional with the right knee scooting back. And again, not expecting you to go into the fullest splits. Jack is fairly open. This is not happening for me at all today. But yeah, again, see how the torso is upright over the hips. He's not back bending and he's not lifting his chest up a whole lot. Or he's not back, or Jesus, what am I saying? Bringing the heart up and back like you would in a back bend. Now, one more breath. Really nice. Go ahead and drag the left heel back towards you. Then you can scoot the right knee forward. Nice. Left knee to meet the right. Come to all fours. Really nice. All right, so go ahead and swing your legs, or rather sit your hips back and then swing your legs out to one side and then come to a seat. Really nice. Okay, we'll get into the outer hips a bit. So hang out like you would at the beach or the park. All right, so seated figure four to start. Right ankle up and over the left thigh, please. So notice right away where his left foot is in space. You can always adjust the intensity of this. So bringing your left heel a little closer towards your left sit bone or further away if this feels intense. If you have the practice of double pigeon or fire log, you can just scoot the left ankle over. However, if your right knee is kind of jacked up towards your chest, I would suggest you hang out in your seated figure four. Stay in this double pigeon, or you can add the forward bend. You are adding the forward bend. Just ground down through the sit bones. If you do have a little more range of motion, you can intensify the outer right hip stretch. Visualize your right foot, kind of like a foot telephone, and your right ear is picking up that call. Fingertips can go with you. But again, all of these are layers, options. Nice. One more sweet breath. Awesome. Wherever you are, return back towards center. Everyone release the legs out long. Quick shake, wiggle. And then set up for the other side. Bend both knees. Support your low back, hands behind your hips. Nice. Left ankle up and over the right thigh. Beautiful. So you're either hanging out here in the seated figure four, adjusting the right heel as necessary towards your right sit bone, tracking the left knee down, or double pigeon fire log on the left. You just scoot your right ankle all the way across. Stay here, or you can add the forward bend. So these are more or less variations of the same exact stretch. Sometimes it might be really easy to buy into the fiction that one posture is better than the other or one is more intense. That is not the case. Bodies are different. Every practice is different. So Just go with what feels good, what seems beneficial. You did the foot telephone variation, you got that on this side. But wherever you are, just one more smooth round of breath. Nice. Wherever you are, make your way back towards center, legs out long in front of you. Nice, quick shake, quick knee bounce. And then just a back bend. Let's do 2 back bends. Okay, so you're still hanging out in that seat. And then bend both, or actually, let's go ahead and recline onto your back.
Sorry.
You're good.
Sorry, I don't know.
It's totally okay. Bridge pose, please. Bend both knees. Recline onto your back, and then lift the pelvis, low back, mid back, upper back. Any arm variation that you'd like to do, go for it. So you can grab for the edges of your mat. You can interlace your hands. You can bend at your elbows, dig your triceps down, drop your hips up onto a block or a book if you got that. But keep a squeeze through the inner thighs, glutes. Extend through the sternum, the upper back. So lift that up as opposed to lifting your hips up super high. It's one more here. With control, release upper back, mid back, low back. Beautiful. Take a quick constructive rest, both feet to touch, knees out really wide. Hang out here, a few rounds of breath. You're up.
Okay. So from your reclined position, let's take a few deep breaths together. Take a big inhale. Open mouth, exhale, release. Deep inhale. Open mouth, exhale, release. One more inhale into the belly, the side ribs, the chest. Pause at the top this time, hold it. Open mouth, exhale, release. Very nice. Plant the feet down onto the mat. Scoot your hips a few inches off to the right side of the mat, just so they're a little bit off of center. And then go ahead and cross the left leg, rather right leg, over the left leg, so that your inner thighs are together. Draw the knees up and let the knees fall over to the left. Reach the right arm off to the right. So you're in just like an eagle leg twist here. Like Jessica's doing, you can take your left hand to the outer right thigh just to encourage the twist. You could reach your right arm more at a diagonal towards the back right-hand corner of the mat. And as you breathe, breathe into the entirety of your ribs, into the back of the heart, into the side bodies, into the front of the chest, the sternum, the collarbones. And let the breath be really soothing at this point. We're just preparing the body for more relaxation. Feel how soft the neck and the flesh of the shoulders, the chin, the jaw can be. One more breath on this side. Good. Inhale, come back to center. Uncross the legs. Scoot your hips a little bit off to the left now, and then cross the left leg over the right. So not a figure 4 cross, but eagle legs. You're seated like a lady. Draw your knees up, and then let your knees fall towards the right as you reach the left arm off to the left. So you could also reach the left arm a little bit more at an angle towards the back of the room. This will bring it more into the armpit, the shoulder, the chest, especially if you have a lot of tension in that part of the body. Once again, spend all of the breath in the backs of the ribs, the sides of the ribs, the chest. So you should feel that the circumference of your torso is reaching out in all directions as you inhale, so that when you exhale, you can wring yourself out a little bit more, but not through any forcefulness, but just simply through this ability to let go, to send a message to the body to chill out. Two more breaths here. On your next inhale, come back to center. Scoot your hips back into center. And let's come into a happy baby's pose. So go ahead and hold on to the inner heels or the hamstrings or the ankles or the pinky toe sides of the feet. Just you're making the shape of happy baby's pose. But it does, if your hamstrings aren't flexible enough to hold onto your feet, although we've been doing a lot with the hamstrings this whole class. So if there's ever a moment for this, it's now. And just be a little baby, roll on the ground. Yeah, if you want to flutter the lips, you can inhale.
Do that.
Good. Hug your knees into your chest, round your forehead to your knees. Exhale all of the air out of the lungs. Stretch out. Final Shavasana, final corpse pose. Take up some space. So arms are by the side. It's probably the most comfortable way to place the body. And feel this kind of residual energy in the body from the practice. This residue that has left in the physical sensations of your legs, your hips, your entire body. And just continue to allow these physical sensations to be a grounding force in keeping the awareness right here in the body. So really, in its traditional sense, asana, the poses that we do, were meant to prepare the body for deep focus and meditation. And we kind of got all the wiggles out of our body, so to say, so that we can now be deeply present and deeply at ease. So see if you can embody that state, and I will leave you for about 2 minutes in Shavasana. I know that we're still here with you, but I'll be quiet now. So as you take these last few moments in Shavasana and in the practice, let's just go back to what I was talking about at the beginning of class about making your mat and the four corners of your mat, or the space that you're in, a really sacred and important space for you to do the practice and to reconnect with your sense of presence. So feel an immense amount of gratitude that yoga can be wherever you are. And with that feeling of being refreshed and grounded, begin to take a few deeper and fuller breaths. Wiggle the fingers and toes. Maybe come into a big full body stretch. And then roll to your right side, pause on your side. Use your right arm as a pillow. And then when you feel ready, come all the way up into a cross-legged pose. We'll bring our hands to meet at heart center, Anjali Mudra. So with deep gratitude for yoga, for meeting us all exactly where we are at, may we always lead with our hearts in everything we do. Bring the thumbs to third eye center, bowing to the vast and infinite wisdom within each of us. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thanks, you guys. Thanks so much for joining.
Yes, thank you. Hope